We've all heard that consistency is the key to success in real estate, but in reality, sometimes consistency is only the key to success if you're doing the right things. The problem I see is that there are a lot of agents that are doing things consistently that are the absolute worst things they can do for their business. Today, I'm going to give you 7 specific things I see agents doing that they should stop doing, and I'm going to share with you exactly the opposite things and what they should be doing instead. All right, so you may be wondering, what is it that possibly you're doing that maybe you should stop doing, and what is the alternative? That's what I want to share with you today, because I think what can happen is we can get into these ruts of just doing things the way we've always done them, whether they're effective or not. So the first thing that I see that agents do, that they do consistently but it's ineffective, is they send a typical newsletter. They send a newsletter that has the same things that they've sent forever. There's nothing fresh about it. There's nothing exciting. There's no value brought to the people who are reading it. So consequently, you may have been noticing that your open rates continue to decline. So what is it that you can do as an alternative? One of the most effective things you can do right now is to send a deal of the week. Identify a property, the best property you see as far as a purchase in your local market. Now, what this does is you have to understand we're in real estate. Sharing with them about real estate or the best opportunity we see is the best thing we can do for these folks. What it also does is it gives you the ability to re-engage your database in a way that those folks that may have an interest will raise their hand. There's a couple of things you need to make sure that you're doing with this deal of the week. What you're going to want to do is you're going to have consistency in your subject line. So every week it should be, like I'm in the 30A area, 30A deal of the week, 30A real estate deal of the week, whatever it is for your area. You want to have consistency there where it's very clear what this is about. And then what you want to do is you want to have the information, but you want to have it in a couple of different formats. You want it clean, you want it concise, and you want it to the point where it's easy for them to get additional information. We don't want to add photos. We don't want to add the address. What we want to do is we want to create intrigue. So something along these lines. I searched the MLS this week, and out of everything that I saw there, I found this to be the best opportunity I see for a buyer that's looking for, and whatever that is. And then you're going to have bullet points. Maybe it's an investor. Maybe it's someone who's a first-time home buyer. Whatever it is, I think you should vary these things as you send them out to see what your database responds to. Then you want to have bullet points. You want to have 3 to 5 bullet points that tells exactly the details about this house. Huge backyard, large open living room, close to whatever amenities, whatever it is that you feel would intrigue that ideal buyer for that property. Then down below, you're going to have something along the lines that's going to be very simple. We're going to remove the friction. If you'd like additional details, photos, and the additional information about this property, just reply to this email and I'll be glad to send it over to you. Make it simple for them. Now, think about the headlines that you want to have that will capture their attention when they open that. Think about the bullet points you want, and then make it simple for them to respond. When you do this, when you replace that old newsletter you've had that maybe you love doing every week, but no one's opening and reading, with something that is of value to these folks that are looking to purchase or to sell real estate, you're absolutely going to see a big difference in the results you're getting. Number 2 is you're posting things on social media that the algorithm hates. The algorithm responds to specific things. It responds to things where there's interaction or engagement, where there's comments, there's those things. But it especially interacts with those things that people share. You know, something that people have never shared is Happy Father's Day. A Happy Father's Day post, a Happy St. Patrick's Day post, whatever it is, that's something that is just standard, that is just talking about a specific day. Very rarely is someone going to share that with somebody because it intrigues them. Very rarely are they going to stop scrolling because they see that. Just stop posting those. What we're seeing now is I'd rather you have effective, engaged type of posts that people value than just having a filler. So whatever it is that you've been doing just to fill space on social media, stop. Stop doing those things. The consistency is that I'd rather have someone do 1 to 2 very intriguing posts that people engage with, that they're interested in, instead of just having something that is just a filler. When you're out there and you're trying to be consistent on social media, remember, consistency is only good on social media if it brings value to your ideal client, or it's something that your ideal client will either have shared with them or that they will share with others. Next up is checking in with people. I don't know about you, but we live busy lives, and when people just send something and say, hey, just checking in on you, it has no value. What I would suggest is the best thing you could do is think about something that connects them. So instead of saying just checking on you guys, Think about something that maybe reminds you of them. Share a story that you have with them, something that was funny. Or maybe you share something that you saw that might be of importance to them. Hey, I know you're on the board at whatever they're on the board for. I saw this article and I thought of you, thought you might find it interesting. That is a total different deal than just saying, just checking in on you. Think about what you're doing. If you're going to be connecting with people, instead of just checking in, make it with a purpose. Have it something that is of value to that person. Think about it and reverse it. If someone sent this to you, would you find value in it? When you can answer that question yes, make sure you're connecting correctly and stop the checking in and start adding value. Next up is sending the typical postcard for just sold and just listed. Everybody's done it. It is tired. It's old. Absolutely, if you send enough of anything, you're going to get some response, but the effectiveness has basically gone to nil. Now, here's what you can do instead, is share the story of the process. You know, I've talked about this before of where Noah Escobar came in and he talked about the process of, did you hear about your neighbor? And it was a letter that told the story of, they reached out to me and they said this is what they were wanting to do. Then it went through and talked about the marketing that was done. Then it talked about the open house that was done. Then it talked about all of the different things that were done to generate the opportunity to get multiple offers on that transaction. Then it talked about the negotiations that were done, and then it talked about how we were able to, in this case for Noah, to receive the highest price for his sellers that in that neighborhood. Whatever it is, make this story or the process and those people that he wrote. And when you do this a little bit different, all of a sudden people can connect to, oh, well, they were wanting to sell because they wanted to move closer to kids. Maybe they connect with that. Or maybe it's somewhere in there that you say they really needed to sell this house first before they could purchase. Well, they could connect with that. All of a sudden what you've done is you've talked about the process, how you overcame those, and they can begin to see themselves sitting in the seat of the clients you're sharing the story for. This is way more effective. Now, we've talked about this on sending just listed, just sold postcards. Instead of doing that, sending this in a letter. But you can also do this on social media. Instead of just putting up a just sold or just listed post on social media, tell the story of how this happened. You can do this with a carousel where you talk about this process. You can do it where you're doing a video and you're going through the process that you did. This is a great way to level up that marketing. Look, the reason why people still send the just sold and just listed cards, because if you send enough, some of them will work. The idea still works, but the way that we deliver the idea and the way that we market this should be changing with the times. If you'll do these changes, I promise you're going to get better results. The next thing I see people doing consistently that is killing their business is you're spending time with the same people. Listen, if all you do is spend time with the same people, nothing is going to expand. There was someone years ago that said that we're going to be only difference we're going to be in the next 5 years of who we are today versus who we'll be then is the people we spend time with and we get to know, and also the books that we read. So what is it that you're doing to expand your network? What is it that you're doing to build new relationships? What is it that you're doing to surround yourself with leaders or trainers or people in this industry that think bigger than you do? You see, the problem is when we get into a little small group, what happens is we continue to do the same things. And over time, no matter what it is, continuing to do the same thing the same way loses its effectiveness. So what I want to encourage you to do is to branch out. I want you to encourage you to get involved in your community. I want to encourage you to find a networking group that you can become a part of. Whatever it is for you, expand the relationships you have and your business will expand as well. Next up is you're spending too much time in the office. Now this sounds counterproductive because look, I'm an office guy. I love where I walk into the office, I'm able to get into the zone and start being effective. Now, the idea of an office has changed. So whether that be that you're operating in a coffee shop, whether that be you're operating in a real estate office, whether that be you're operating at someplace in your home, whatever it is for you, you do have to have a time where you flip the switch and you're working. But let me say this, there's no one that is going to walk into that coffee shop specifically looking for you to buy real estate from you. And in reality, in most cases, nobody's walking into real estate offices anymore. So what is it that we can do to be more effective than spending too much time in the places where buyers and sellers aren't? We should expand out and make the office the place where the people are. So what does that look like? That could be hosting more open houses and basically setting up an open house as your location for your office for that day. That could be spending more time on social media, going live on social media where people see you and it's put in front of them. All of these are ways for us to expand the opportunities we have to talk to buyers and sellers. Sometimes what can can happen is we can get consistent that I'm going to be at the office at 8:30. I'm going to walk in. I'm going to go get my coffee. I'm going to talk to the same people. I'm going to roll back in there. I'm going to check my emails, and we've done nothing to expand the business. Get out of your comfort zone. Get where the people are. If you're going to catch the wave, I've always said you have to get in the water. Make sure that you're not getting in a rut where you're spending too much time in a place where you're not effective. When you do this, the effectiveness of your business will absolutely go up as well. Last but not least, sometimes we can get where we're too focused on the consistency of our routine. We don't change things up. We don't move things around. We drive the same way to the office every single day. We think about our morning where every single morning we're going to make calls from 8 to 10, but the calls aren't as effective as they were. We think about things that we're loyal to, something along the lines of buying leads. We've always bought leads. Well, why have we always done this? Because we've always done it. Is it still effective? Again, think about what is it you can do to build relationships? What is it that you can do differently that gets you uncomfortable? And what is it that you are doing now that you've always done that just isn't as effective as it used to be? Try new things. Develop new habits. Get excited about this business. Change is inevitable. Embrace the change, make the change, and I promise you're going to see different results. Hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.